Back with our panel here, Lisa Bryant, Craig Sharton, Nathan Miller. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Craig, you got a new podcast. You guys are, you and Paul Swearingen are debuting.
Yes, Paul and I are two guys talking Fresno.
That's the name of it?
Yep.
All right.
So we have a Facebook page up, and we'll have our web page up, and Jeffrey Scott Agency is helping us produce it. So it's a really nicely produced piece, and we've had some really great local and national guests on. So we'll launch it probably 1st of August or so.
You know, there's a space, I think, for more Fresno podcasts. There's one that I listen to that comes out every month, but I'm happy to see more. That's for sure.
We're really interested in positive and good civil discourse.
Well, let's talk about a positive story that we actually had here on KC24 this week, and that's the Pacific Southwest building downtown. It's 80% occupied right now. It used to be basically an empty building for a while. Craig, what are they doing down there that's working that maybe we can see in other spaces in downtown?
Well, you know, when we changed all of those rules back 5-6 years ago, it's really easy to do mixed use in buildings now. So you can have some office, you could have a restaurant at the top, you can have lofts in there, and finding that blend that kind of matches the demand downtown is going to help people fill up buildings more creatively. Yeah. And we see that working all over the country. Yeah,
and Lisa, we were talking, you were like, yeah, I mean, they basically did a bitwise in there for part of it.
Yeah, because it was like, can we replicate it? And I was like, well, I think we have replicated. I mean, like, this is a replication, right? But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going downtown. Not only this, you know, State Center is moving all their offices, State Center Community College.
Yeah, sure. Hey.
Moving all their offices down there, which will increase traffic even more down there, foot traffic, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I think that there's a lot, as soccer attendance grows and everything, I think we're going to see more people wanting to be downtown, close to downtown, where stuff's going on.
Well, I have it on good word that they're pretty far in talking about a location for a new soccer stadium that we'll be talking about very quick here on the show, I believe. Nathan, I did want to ask you about Stockton testing out the universal basic income. Basically, they got like 100 people together. They're giving them each $500 a month, no strings attached. Some European countries do this.
Oh.
Well, I mean, what's your response? As a conservative, I'm guessing already. But
well, look, I think anytime the government gives something away, you're going to have problems. You're going to encourage misuse. You're going to encourage fraud. You're going to have a lot of problems. I mean, great. This is a young mayor, 27 years old, I think. You know, hopefully he's knows what he's doing. I personally think he's going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have to, first of all, if you do this on a bigger scale, what programs are you going to cut to allow this funding? If the federal government did it, you'd probably have to get rid of the food stamp program. Yeah. You'd probably have to get rid of, I mean, a number of social programs.
Yep. It would be this instead of. I mean, do you guys think? I mean, because there has been, I've done some reading on this and what they've seen in Europe, and there's some good and there's some bad as well. There's there's some mixed data there, but I don't know if either of you think that it's actually an interesting idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think that as we move towards a more automated society where you see more and more jobs start to go away, you know, truck driver jobs, things like that are becoming automated, you're going to have to move to some model where people have some means to live. If we're a completely service economy, well, you know, how are people going to afford anything? I think $500 doesn't meet the threshold that a lot of people say a basic universal income would need to be.
Especially in California.
Yeah.
Well,
no matter where you are.
Right, but I think, you know, the way they picked the people was like people who are not very far below the poverty line, but just about there, right? Could this give them that extra bump that they're okay, right? That maybe they don't need as many social services, or maybe they don't have to decide between lights and food, that kind of thing.
Well, one of the things with, you know, the idea of having different states would be to be able to try things out, and we could learn from each other. Yeah. And so taking that data that you talked about and seeing how it worked. But yeah, part of the idea was that you don't have all these other programs, that you say instead of having all of these bureaucracies, we're just going to give you the basic amount that you need to get by. And
use it wisely or waste it. It's your choice.
Right,
Here it is.
Exactly. But we're not going to have 18 different agencies that...
Didn't Stockton file for bankruptcy just a short time ago?
Not that long ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it might be the wrong place to do it. And then they're also, I read that they're getting donations from, you know, $1 million donation from somebody from Facebook or Amazon or something. I don't know. So I don't think you're going to be able to actually gauge those results if you're not actually using city money. You're using private money to fund this program.
And you know, and the interesting thing, Craig, to your point about the different states trying different things, that sounds great. The only problem is that it takes political will in each, because while they're doing that, it's like, it's somebody's term. You know what I mean? It's like there's an election. So it gets tricky.
Tough.
Yeah, it's politically hard. I did want to ask about Senator Kamala Harris. She did not waste time. Neither did Dianne Feinstein when Brett Kavanaugh was announced as the nominee. She got right out there very quickly, as she has been on other issues. Guys, is she running for president?
Look, she's the worst
2020?
thing. She's the worst thing to happen to California since earthquakes.
Kamala Harris?
Yes. If she
You gotta
runs,
put that on a T-shirt.
If she runs for president, it would be an absolute blessing for every conservative out there.
Why?
She will not win.
Why do you say that?
What she have to offer? She's first of all, she was a district attorney. That's how she started. She's always had
conservatives
government.
hate district attorneys.
No, it's not that we hate. It's not that we hate DAs. The problem is she's never ever been in the private sector.
Kavanaugh?
Well, Kavanaugh's a judge. I'm talking about if she's running for president. And I think what we can see, gauging from Donald Trump, I think he's done a magnificent job. And he's first president probably that we've ever had that wasn't a politician. So we have Kamala Harris coming in. She was a district attorney. I mean, she really got her push by dating Willie, what's his name? The mayor? The old mayor. She actually dated him, and he kind of propelled her into her political career. So, I mean, I don't think she doesn't have much to offer.
Well, Lisa, you could push back against that, but also, what do you think about her? What do you think about? Is she angling for 2020, or is she maybe thinking? She's definitely thinking presidency.
I think she's probably thinking about it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, 2020 is a long way away. She'd have an exploratory committee formed first to see if it was what kind of support she'd have across the country. I think she'd have good support from, millennials. I think she'd have good support from young people. A lot of Democrats probably would support her. She probably would do pretty well with independents, actually, too. She's not going to win conservative voters, but she's not going to be angling for conservative voters. So.
Yeah. Craig, 15 seconds. Do you have a take on Kamala Harris at this point?
I think they're all just feeling it out now. I mean, I got tons of emails as soon as the announcement happened from a variety of people that are all testing the water.
And then we talk about president, it's like, does Bernie run again? And that could change things. And I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
Hillary might run again.
Oh no.
No, she won't. She's
I don't know.
Stop
bringing up Hillary.
These are your fantasies.
I hope she does. I mean,
quit looking back. Look forward.
I think she might.
No, she
Guys, thanks very much. We appreciate it. We're going to